York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what? The Knicks just won again, right? We have a full team back today, and we actually hit the 50-win mark once again. First time in I don't know how many years. This Knicks team has won 50 back-to-back wins, and we did it in style. Of course, we have to you have to give you a heart attack because it is heart attack Knicks sometimes. But this version of the heart attack Knicks gives you a win. And Deuce McBride came back today with 8 points. All right, Jalen Brunson came back today with 15 points, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. Mikal Bridges kept up his production and gave you 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Karl Anthony Towns had a monster second quarter, 19 points, 13 rebounds, a steal, a block, more of those blocks please, and an assist. Josh Hart gives you 10 rebounds and 5 assists with 7 points. And my main man, original gangster himself, OG Anunoby, comes in with 32.6 rebounds. Let's go! And he's giving you what, 360 dunks, he's giving you jump shots, he's giving you defense, he's giving you it all, man. And he's been on a tear. He's been near averaging 27 points, 28 points a game over these last 10 games. And he's just been dominated. I love to see it. The Knicks had 32 assists today. We tied the rebounding point. We tied with their rebounding with 38 apiece with the Suns, and we came up with the victory despite the Suns cutting into our 19-point lead to 5. The Knicks persevered and won the game. We're going to talk about it all right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Before I do that, I'm going to introduce you to the Latin assassin, the man who's ready for his close-up. You see the glasses. He looks like he's going to Hollywood and he's going fishing at the same time. Our guy, Lee Escobedo. What's going on?
I was on my best Charles Xavier shit, man. I was trying to connect with Jay because I had a feeling there in the second quarter. I had a feeling. I just sensed what Jay was thinking. And I was watching OG Anunoby deliver that 3-level score, and I was like, Cerebral, connect me to my main Jay Ellis. OG Anunoby. My Lord. You have blessed us with an unbelievable, finally huge win, 6'8", plays defense, 3-level score, sniper from the perimeter, mid-range assassin, get to the hoop. If he's in another spot, forget about it. It's a guaranteed 2 points.
Guaranteed 2 points, man. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get into discussion. We're going to talk a little bit about the game and Jalen Brunson coming back and Deuce McBride coming back and all that stuff. But I want to start with OG freaking Anunoby, all right? Interestingly enough, last season, for you guys who've been here for a while, we started calling him Baby Kawhi for a minute because he was showing glimpses of an offensive game. He looked like a mid-range was coming, and we felt like, you know what, there were stints where he can really shine offensively last season as a third option. But when I saw the way this team came together this season, I really didn't see that for him this season. I felt like maybe he had the talent here, but I didn't feel like he would actually have the touches, and I feel like he wouldn't have the runway to really take over. But what's been happening is Jalen Brunson went down, and he's kind of just built off of the momentum that he kind of started to garner right after he came back from his injury. And he just started going on a tear. You heard me a few times this season say, man, OG has the natural alpha in him. I could see it. Like he might not have the ability. I didn't feel like he had the offensive ability that Mikal had, but he had the natural alpha where he's like, I want the ball. I'm not scared. Let me take the shot. I'm unflappable. And I saw that in him. And now when we're getting to the end of the season, I'm starting to see like the ability catch up to the alpha now. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. now you're looking like 1A-ish, 1B-ish. I'm starting to see longer stretches of I can take over a game. I saw him ISO people. I saw him cross over people. I saw him dunk on people's heads. You're starting to see step back threes, sideways threes. You're starting to see step back mid ranges in the clutch. When the game was on the line, Jalen Brunson was off. My brain was like, give the ball to OG. And I was comfortable. And he got doubled. And lo and behold, he made an excellent pass to a Cutter Bridges who finished him off in the fourth quarter. He's growing before our eyes, guys. He's growing before our eyes, averaging around 28 points over these last 10 games on efficient field goal percentage, over 50% from the field, over 40% from three, with the defense, the blocks. OG's here, man. We might have an all-style talent here as a third option, which makes things very scary for every other team in the league when we start to put all this talent together, for sure.
So nice to have some good news on top of good news on top of good news. First back-to-back 50-win season since 95. That is quite the accomplishment. If you do the math, 30 years in between back-to-back 50-game seasons. Think about that for a minute. That is a lot of underachieving. That's a lot of poverty. It's a lot of losing. There is a reason why Net fans are constantly looking over their shoulder, looking up at the sky to see if it's falling, waiting for the ball to drop, waiting for shit to hit the fan, because all we've known, millennial Net fans, Gen X Net fans, is mostly sustainable losing. No longer under the Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau era. You no matter how you feel about Tibbs or how you feel about Leon, and this is not, at some points in times, it might sound like a pro Leon channel, but for the most part, if he does something wrong, no one on this channel right now is afraid to criticize him. We have all criticized Leon. We've all criticized Tibbs. But right now, we have sustainable winning, long-term sustainable winning that looks to me that way for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I think even though we don't have our draft capital in the ensuing future, near future, we have Jalen Brunson. So screw the draft capital. I'd rather have this team intact, ready to win championships. And OG Anunoby looks to give us not 1, not 2, not 3, but possibly 4 second options, including Brunson. Some nights it could be Cat as number 1. Some nights it could be Mikal. Some nights it could be OG like it was tonight. That's 4 guys that can slot into that second option that give you a myriad of different ways of scoring, different ways of impacting the game. All of them are also solid playmakers. Some more than others, Bridges, Cat. Some are really strong defenders. Some more than others, Bridges, OG. I love the diversity in this lineup. No other team in the NBA has this much offensive talent in their starting 5. Not even the Boston Celtics, not the OKC Thunder, not the Cleveland Cavaliers. Each team has somebody that doesn't have takeover ability. Boston Celtics have Drew Holiday and Derek White, who no longer can take over. There will never be a game in the playoffs where either Derek White or Drew Holiday is the second best player. Not happening. It's either Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, or Kristaps Porzingis. Cleveland, Jared Allen will never be a third best player offensively in any playoff series. And it's probably fair to say DeAndre Hunter won't either. OKC, they got 3 very good players, no one after that. The Knicks, 4 guys in total that can slot into the number 2 option. I can't remember the last time I've seen this. Maybe the Golden State Juggernaut team. That is what makes us so scary, is that no team in the NBA that's a playoff contender has more unmet potential than this current roster, including specific players like Bridges, OG, and Cat, who I believe had not met their ceiling yet in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, unmet potential is the key. And I see, I want to be exactly clear because I've seen comments in the chat. Jalen Brunson is the number 1 option. He is our best clutch player.
Correct.
Let's clear that up before y'all get out of control what we saying and misconstrue what the hell I'm saying. All right. Misconstrue what's happening right now. Jalen Brunson is Captain Clutch. Big Shot Brunson is what we like to call on this program. He is our closer. He's probably going to win the Clutch Player of the Year award this season. He is our best offensive player.
Yes.
But here's the thing. We have OG Anunoby here, like Lee said, who is he's a big dude. He's a big dude, a strong dude, and he's a wing player who plays offense and defense. We haven't had a big wing that can create on this team in a very long time, and that just creates a lot more matchup problems for different teams where you don't have to go to Brunson for even longer stretches. You can just like, hey, OG really has the matchup today. Let's just go to OG and save Johnson's legs for the last 5 minutes of the game, and he's gonna be on full. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be on full, or they might have to start the double OG because he's that big and he can take people off the dribble and he can post people. And now you're saying you can double OG and kick out to Cat and Brunson, and like, I mean, the only thing is you might have to switch out Hart, but like, that just gives us a lot of dimensions to play with. It just gives us a lot of dimensions to play with. You know what I'm saying? And that's really the theme here today. I heard something that said this whole team's only been together for four games total. And within those 4 games, I don't even think everybody was completely healthy. Everybody was like working back from an injury, working their way into a flow. So for all intents and purposes, we still really haven't seen the full potential of this team yet. So
100% agree. Yes, let me reiterate. Jalen Brunson, no questions asked, is the number 1 option on his team. He is our best player, in my opinion, overall. He's the MVP candidate. But I'm saying, I think Cat, more likely than not on paper, Cat's number 2. But what I'm saying is there is so much offensive firepower. We've seen a month stretch with Mikal Bridges looks like one of the best scoring wings in the NBA. And tonight he was really shooting in motion on the 3-point line, which I was like, that's playoff basketball.
Yeah.
We'd have 4 guys that are capable of scoring in playoff basketball ways. One of the things I love the most about this Knicks team is that the pace is very slow. Transition opportunities are very limited. We don't score in transition. We don't score in fast break. We don't score shooting a whole lot of threes. Now, that can be problematic in terms of how the NBA is trending. But in the playoffs, everything slows down. And the way the Knicks score night in, night out is how you score in the playoffs. I like that we depend on a lot of difficult, low percentage shots. Because in the playoffs, that means we'll make them then when the pressure tightens. That we're already built. And Ebony has said this, and you've said this. We are built this team for the playoffs. But I want to do some flowers. You said earlier that KOT show has been calling OG Anunoby mini Kawhi Leonard or Kawhi Leonard light. That's not true, bro. It's been you. You were the first one to give OG his flowers and really recognize the offensive potential. When everyone, including myself, was talking about, damn, this Swiss Army knife, he can guard 1 through 5, saw him fronting Embiid, saw him locking down Tyrese Halliburton before he got injured. This guy is also, and you saw it early, he has the ability to be a beast, efficiently a beast offensively, especially in that mid-range, which is where his offense first started showing itself. Then he started adding the 3 in the beginning of the season. Now we're seeing getting downhill, RJ Barrett style, but even more dominant because he's impossible to block because of his strength and how he's improved his gather and dribble. That makes him a bona fide offensive option in the playoffs, where finally we've learned to master a non-Jalen Brunson minutes. Brunson can sit and no longer we worry about net rating in that stretch. Who runs the offense? Who is running with the bench? A question we've been asking since Jalen Brunson has gotten here. Who leads the bench unit? It don't matter anymore. We got 3 options now that we can dump the ball to. And Josh Hart's 3-point shot is becoming less and less of a priority, less and less of an issue in the playoffs. We can now hide him and depend on high volume from OG Anunoby. But I want to give you your flowers, bro, because no other podcaster, no other Knicks content creator saw OG's offensive potential quicker and sooner than you.
I appreciate that. Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Some of the stuff he's doing today, I ain't even think he's gonna be able to do that last year. I ain't gonna hold you. Like the way he's getting to the rim, I didn't see that. Even I didn't see that. But I definitely feel like he had more offensive potential than what he was showing last season. And he is, averaging 28 points per game in the 10-11 game stretch is something to raise an eyebrow about and go, wait a minute. Things that make you go, this can work out well for us. This can work.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I'm on a roll. My brain is working. One of the other things I like about the playoffs is if you think about all four of our guys, they each have a quality, an innate quality, and a skill they've worked on long term that makes them damn near unguardable. Where there's only a handful of guys in the playoffs who can match up well against him. Brunson's footwork, very few guards and wings who can keep up with his footwork that makes him so shifty to find or create space no matter how he's being covered. He adjusts to all defenses because of that footwork. Mikal Bridges, no one is more active off ball, running and running around screens and getting their guy worn out on the defensive end than Bridges. Very few guys in the NBA can keep up with him defensively.
Hamilton for real.
For real. And most of the guys who can keep up with him, they're not in the playoff picture right now. They're on teams like Scotty Barnes or Herb Jones, guys we don't have to worry about seeing in the playoffs, which is to our benefit. Karl-Anthony Towns, 7 foot tall, being able to hit threes above the break. Who can stop that? I would argue maybe Jaren Johnson Jr. is the only one who can really put a body. We don't have to worry about seeing him in the playoffs. And then OG Anunoby. Tell me how many players, maybe Kawhi, maybe LeBron, I don't know who, can stop his physicality getting downhill or pulling up from the three. It don't matter if you hit his arm, you hit his side. He's so big and so strong, and he's shown such a propensity to absorb contact. You can't throw him off his game. Those four physical traits that all four of those guys have, it makes the who can guard them so limited, and that's no play in our favor big time, no matter what the series is.
Yeah. I feel like we made a trade mid-season again. I feel like, oh man, remember, we got a trade. We got Mitch back. Felt like a trade mid-season because our defense shut up when we got Mitch back. I feel like we got another trade mid-season the way that OG Anunoby is playing, where he's just kind of just dominating offensively for this long stretch. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this team is. The playoffs are still gonna be tricky because we still have to figure out how to mesh all this in 4 games and figure out the roles and the pieces because there's a lot to play with. That first round though, that's gonna be our time to play with it and see what we have. But yeah, I like the kind of gumbo we have where we just gotta kind of mix it up and let it cook a little bit. I'm liking it.
And let's talk about, the bench. I'm sure you want to talk about it, but man, collectively, it's really starting to round into form. You were right. Looks like DeLon Wright's going to be out of the rotation. And here's the thing. There's no bad news. There's only good news. It don't matter who Tibbs includes. It's been proven that whoever that guy is, they've already contributed and shown the value that they bring to the team in that backup point guard role. But our bench was really solid tonight. Loved how quickly Deuce McBride came back and integrated himself into the offense, not just in catch and shoot, taking the ball off the dribble, pulling up and knocking down threes. We need that 10 points per game off the bench from him. He gave us 8 tonight with 2 dimes. Campaign, 2 points, 6 dimes. Shamit, another solid night tonight, especially on the defensive end with 5 points. Love that bench unit.
Yeah, I feel like the bench unit has gotten into rhythm. I feel like when it comes to Jalen Brunson being out and who's catching rhythm, I think it's probably benefited the bench and Mikal more than anybody. Shamit has found his rolling increasing with his, he's been getting like 20, 30 minutes a game. So now he's getting 15 minutes a game. Remember, he was only getting 5 minutes a game. Now when his minutes are cut, he's at least getting 15, which is kind of more what we want. We want like 15 or 20 for Shamit off the bench, and he gave you 5 points with efficient shooting. Deuce McBride gave you 8, which was nice to see on efficient 3-point shooting as well. We didn't see Precious, which is, not a bad thing. We just need campaign to kind of round back into form and see, and then we'll be good to go. I loved it. I love the win was, it's funny. This is one of those games where you can kind of get in trouble because it's late in the season. There's only like a handful of games left. This team has lost 5 in a row. They, and they coming into the Garden where Booker likes to perform on big stages. All the big stars like to play at the Garden. They always show up. Booker showed up. So this is one of those games where, on paper it's like, we should win this. But in reality, when it comes to human nature, you kind of have to get up for this game because you can easily fall into a slump of just letting this team run over you if you just play too lackadaisical. I'm not gonna lie. There was a few times in this game where I'm just like, we're dodging bullets. They were open. I don't feel like we played elite 3-point defense today by any stretch at all. They got a lot of open looks. We hit ours, they missed theirs. OG had a 19-point quarter. OG was 4 from 6 from 3 and hitting it over people contested. They missed their open threes. Our talent won us the game today. So I want to keep that in mind. I definitely, a win is a win. I'm taking it. I am taking it. But defensively, I felt like we had to clean up some things, but we got that win, and that's all that matters to me right now.
Yeah, we got lucky that Bradley Beal is washed. We got lucky that Ryan Dunn's shot has been extremely inconsistent this season after starting off on fire. We got lucky that Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen and Tyson Jones weren't hitting it from the perimeter. But I will say, Sandman, I'm praying for you, bro. You got a lot of anger going on, man. Don't understand the rage and anger after a Knicks win and a back-to-back 50 win season. I don't get it because I like Tom Thibodeau's adjustment. Tonight, we saw something that Tibbs doesn't usually do. Tibbs' arrogance, he tends to not want anyone to go off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he overplays everything. Tonight, he was like, Devin Booker, we don't give you single coverage. We might double if you get real deep into the paint, but most of the time, Karl-Anthony Towns was in drop, and he played drop, I thought, pretty effectively. We'll get to that here in a minute. But I liked that the game plan of just make sure no one else goes off. The Grayson Allen type guys have consistently killed us. Brian Dunn has killed us in the past from the three-point line. I mean, if Bradley Beal is going to play, there's a possibility he could find a fountain of youth on any given night, especially with the gravity that Booker was seeing.
Right.
I mean, on the perimeter was unbelievable, but we didn't. We contained everybody else. In fact, we neutralized Royce O'Neal. We neutralized Nick Richards. Love that level of defensive concentration to say, okay, Booker, you don't have to drop 70 in order to beat us. And I can live with that every night because 9 out of 10 times, maybe even 10 out of 10 times, the Knicks are going to win that situation.
Yeah, and it's funny because, Booker was cooking OG, but like that's Booker, so you take it with a grain of salt. It's not like he wasn't playing bad defense. OG did what he could, but I feel like Tom decided to double at the fourth quarter, and like, all right, cool, we're gonna go single coverage this whole game. Now fourth quarter, we're gonna double, and now that your team has been cold all game, now get high, try to beat us. And I mean, it worked out for us. They did cut it to 5 though, but we had the bigger guns in OG Anunoby who hit some big shots, and Jalen Brunson too, who didn't look all the way there today. It looked like he was still kind of testing his ankle. It looked like he was trying to test his abilities and his mobility. But just like our captain does, when the game was on the line and we needed a shot to help put the game away, he hit a big 3 in the fourth quarter. And that's all you can ask for. And hopefully, he feels a lot better for the next game.
Bold take. I think if Brunson had not been in the game and we had that bench unit along with Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, I don't think the lead would have been cut to 5. I think we would have won by 17 or 18 points. I think the lead got cut because Brunson was in the game. He wasn't fully integrated into the offense.
Yeah.
He was hunting for his shots. It slowed down the game. He had a few misses. Not when you need a clutch bucket, he's going to give you one, even if he's playing on one leg. We saw that in the playoffs. But he was also a defensive liability there toward the end too. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal were going at him. So, I mean, it didn't always end in a bucket. And I've said it before, this is Brunson's best defensive year. But I think Brunson's presence is part of the reason why that lead was cut in the fourth quarter. And if we had been playing the OG Bridges lineup, I think we would have maintained 1 by 15, 17, and it would never have been close.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Wright has been really good for us in the starting lineup, playing excellent defense. He's not going to give you the offensive production Brunson gives you, but defense is going to be tight. So we don't have the OG Brunson that can drop 20. So you're getting lesser defense, and the offense is coming around, which kind of makes the margins a little bit smaller. But it's fine. It's fine because we got to win. And we're just using this game to tune Brunson up for the playoffs. So it doesn't matter that it got close, really. It just matters that we got the win and we got Brunson some more game experience before the playoffs to get him into game shape and game rhythm.
Uh-oh. We got friend of the channel, the God, Uncle Freezy in the house. My brother, man, great to see you in here. Thank you for supporting and thank you for the super chat. We appreciate all the super chats. They always help the channel. The $2 from below Andre tiers. Salute. with a bunch of lights already adding up. That's a friend of the channel, but specifically a very good friend of Fritz, who has connected us with them and has allowed me to be on the show a few times. Much
Absolutely.
appreciated.
Shout out to Uncle Freeze if Blue Orange Series gives a $2 super chat. We just said salute, man. Salute to you. Salute to you, Uncle Freeze. Good to see you in the chat rocking with us. All right. All right. Also, is anybody in TikTok land? My bad, TikTok. I be getting TikTok a little bit later. Okay, it seems like TikTok land, they ain't rocking with us today, but they was rocking with us yesterday with 324 views on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok yesterday. But shout out to everybody who's rocking right now. Nick Yak, Fritz Alessandor, best mod in the game. HMR and Great in the chat. Sherwin in the chat. Lewis Randall in the chat. Gamer Channel in the chat. Who else? We got Glamour Knicks in the chat. We got Prezi the Boss in the chat. And the Grill in the chat. Everybody, salute to you guys. Picks for Timmy in the chat. Keith Watkins in the chat. Everybody in the chat, salute to you guys. I hope you enjoying the show. We here every post game. If you like the show, hit that like, subscribe. All right. Also, super chats and donations is welcome. It helps keep the lights on. It helps to keep things moving. We appreciate all types of support, whether it be super chats, likes, shares, and whatnot. All right. Anything else you want to get to? I mean, Karl Anthony Towns looked really good in that second quarter. I felt like one of the pivotal moment of the game that kind of blew the game open was the second quarter. And it was kind of just like Karl Anthony Towns going on his own personal run. Slicing him in between multiple players with finger roll layups, basking, hanging, getting layups in transition. Mikal Bridges was also scoring in that pocket right there in that second quarter. I felt like Karl Anthony Towns had a really strong game, recognizing there's nobody on the other end of that court who could guard him, and kind of went off. So yeah, a great game by Karl Anthony Towns. 19 points, 13 rebounds, a steal, and a block, which is like what I like to see from Karl Anthony Towns, some defense.
And listen, man, Mitchell Robinson had a great impact on this game, too, defensively. They didn't show up in the box scores. He was a major presence, has been a major presence playing the passing lanes in that mid-range area. That's a new part of his game that he's brought to his team that he started implementing last year, where he's starting to play the passing lanes and try and get steals and then be an outlet passer for those advanced opportunities in transition. I love Mitchell Robinson was fantastic, but I want to give some flowers today for the defense that Karl Anthony Towns played. Now, I know Phoenix, Nick Richards is a very a stat stuffing type big, kind of like Mark Williams. Can give you a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, a lot of blots, but does he impact winning? In my opinion, not yet. Right now, he's kind of in that James Wiseman area. Like, you don't know if he's ever really going to impact winning. Marvin Bagley is another name you think about. Going to have great stats, but doesn't actually impact the game on the offensive defensive side. But Karl Anthony Towns, I thought, really not only just took advantage of that matchup, I thought this is one of the best exercises in drop coverage that we've seen from him. Continuing a great example of drop coverage last game, where I started the show off on a tangent that Uncle Freezy and I were having on his show about the diversification of pressing the pick and roll, blitzing the pick and roll. Tonight, he didn't do either. He mostly stayed in drop and understood the assignment. Who is he guarding? Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, not the most elite mid-range creators. Not two guys that pull up in mid-range, not a huge floater package or push shots. He knew if I stay in and drop, I'm at least defend the rim for layups. That's where Grayson Allen is actually very effective, is around the rim. And he stayed and drop and contained a lot of those shots. Grayson Allen still took it to him sometimes, but they made it very contested, very difficult shots around the rim. So I have to give Cat, we've been very harsh on him all year. I mean, maybe the most harsh we've been on anybody has been Karl Anthony Towns' defense, because we just see what he does on offense. And like, damn it, man, give us something on the other end. Something.
I just been complaining for him. Just put your hands up, man. That would solve like 50% of the problems. Just put your hands up.
But tonight, I thought, especially the minutes where it was him and Brunson, which had been Achilles' heel for us. I mean, it's defensively, the worst pick and roll coverage in the NBA is Brunson at the point and Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. That's scary and could be troublesome in the playoffs. But tonight he showed that he can hold his own. It just depends on the matchup. You got to know when to drop, when to stay at the level, when to press, when to call for a blitz with your teammates, and communicate on the defensive end and try to adjust to what's being thrown at you.
I agree. So yeah, good to see that Karl Anthony Towns is taking some steps today. We need that in the playoffs. Also, I mean, Mitch Mitch had some moments. I also feel like Mitch didn't have his best game today, honestly, but he did have big moments. So I feel like the block was. I feel like his presence in the second half was needed. The first half, I didn't feel like it was. He was kind of a little bit off, but I do feel like I still want to see more Cat Mitch line up together to kind of litigate that pick and roll
Yes.
thing. Mitch only played 12 minutes a day. He's not playing back to backs. So I still feel like I just want to see more of those guys together so we can get a feel for that. And I feel like if we end up playing the Cavs, I feel like when we play the Cavs, that's going to benefit us the most when we play the Cavs. But I just want to see that lineup a little bit more, pretty much.
Yeah, just to reiterate one more time, I think more than any other team that's in the top echelon of the NBA, the Knicks have more than anyone not met their ceiling yet in terms of potential, both offensively and defensively. I'm not really worried about the offense in the playoffs. There's no one I'm worried about not bringing it. That matters. Josh Hart's 3-point shot will always be a concern, probably through his entire career, but it's a defensive side that I'm worried about because the guys that play a lot of minutes have not been strong defenders throughout the entirety of the season. And I'm talking about Hart. I'm talking about Cat. And I'm talking about Jalen Brunson. So that's really the only thing that I'm worried about. But I have been very, very impressed, not just this game, but while Brunson was out, the Knicks showing that for the first time in the Jalen Brunson era, they can win those minutes that he's not in the game. That will be crucial because it allows the offense to really morph into more of a equity across the five starters who are on the floor or whatever five combination of guys. Not everything has to be on ball and the most dribbles in the NBA, the most time spent on ball that Jalen Brunson's dominated in the last 3 seasons. That doesn't have to be our MO and our identity in the playoffs. We can now be someone who spaces, paces, and moves the ball and rats up on average 30 assists a game.
I think it's telling that we were an above 500 team without Jalen Brunson. So we went from, man, if Jalen Brunson is out, we're screwed and we can't make the playoffs. So wait a minute, without him, we're an above 500 team. Not a 500 team, which I thought it was going to be, an above 500 team, which is a damn good place to be. Damn good place to be. Something to build on, something to look at in the future. And when we start to mesh all this offensive talent and defensive talent together. All right. Anything else to mention? I feel like it's a good win for us. I know a lot of you guys are like, can we just start the playoffs already? Can we just get there? I'm with you. But we got more games to play. Anything else? I know we still don't really know who we're playing. I guess
as it is right now, we're matched up with the Pistons again. It changed today. There's a 0.5 games between Milwaukee and Detroit. We could have shored up the third seed today, but the Indiana Pacers ended up winning, being the Denver Nuggets by 5 tonight. It might end up being the end of the season when we finally figure out who we're going to play, oscillating between the Pistons and the Bucks. I think being a third seed is probably going to stay there because we're 3.5 games in front of Indiana. I don't see that changing, but who we play in the first round could potentially change. I think we beat both in no more than 6 games. Milwaukee's probably 5. I don't want to disrespect an opponent, but I just think we have way too much on our side. We're playing too hot and too connected right now to be lost in a first round series to Detroit or Milwaukee.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I agree. And plus, like, I'm just looking at the landscape of who we're playing. Yeah, we're playing the Celtics and we're playing the Cavs. Teams that usually would strike fear. But like both of those guys are pretty much locked up as far as seeding. So when we play those guys, I don't necessarily feel like we're going to get their best shot. We might see some resting. We might see some, so I foresee us winning a couple of those games, 1 or 2 of those games. Who knows? Unless they just gonna like always put the fear of God in the Knicks beforehand, just to let them know who's boss. I don't know if they go that route, but I doubt they'll do that for like the whole game. You know what I'm saying? That mixed with the fact that the Pacers have to win a few games in a row, if I was a betting man, I would say the Knicks are probably going to finish third with a few games over 50 wins this season. And
Yeah.
how many games we have left? We have 5 games.
I believe 5. Yes.
And who do we have? Who are we playing? We got what's the last 5 games?
Boston is next, with which I think Boston will probably sit some guys. But the game I'm the most interested in is Thursday. We can really control a bit of our fate by giving Detroit a loss, to move them down and move Milwaukee up and potentially play them. Or if we lose to them, it helps the advantage of us playing Milwaukee. Tom Thibodeau is never going to purposely throw a game. He's always going to go out and try to win. So that's going to be a crucial one for us to really show our identity and put our footprint on the Detroit Pistons.
Right. And the Detroit game, we're going to have a special guest, our guy, KOT supporter. Dexter Henry will be here for the post game for Knicks Pistons. So if you guys are interested in that post game, or you know Dexter Henry's work, you should enjoy the conversation he will bring to us when he's here. He just interviewed Clyde Frazier the other day for his 80th birthday. So shout out to Dexter Henry for getting that interview. So yeah, be here or be square for sure. All right. All right, yo. I see the chat buzzing. 53 in the chat. I see you. The Styles Nick, welcome. Timmy, Felicia Lee, I see you. Welcome. Everybody else is rocking with the show. If you're new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe. We're here after every game talking Knicks basketball. And we will be here talking Knicks Celtics and Knicks Cavs. And also Dexter Henry will be joining us soon for Detroit versus Knicks. And I still do believe the Knicks will beat Detroit. Just in case you thought I was wavering. No, I feel like we're going to beat Detroit for sure. If we end up playing with them in the playoffs. Screw all this noise about they're better than we should be scared. Nah, we're going to handle Detroit. As Ebony says, pressure bust pipes. You don't know how these guys are going to act in the playoffs. We've been there a few times. We understand the gravity of the situation. We have Jalen Brunson on the team. We will be fine. All right. All right, yo. Lee, do we have any ooh or bruh picks? Do you have any ooh or bruhs? I feel like I don't have it.
Ooh, damn. I hadn't really been thinking about it. Ooh pick. Duke University on a major choke. I believe they were up by 8 with less than a minute to go and allowed Houston to come roaring back. That it's a couple of sequences that involved a block by Houston on Duke and then coming down and almost fumbling the ball to a turnover, but then getting it off of a high pick and roll. They got a 3-pointer that cut the lead, I believe, at 2. And then free throws helped tie the game and take the lead. Epic collapse by Duke, a open missed shot by Cooper Flagg, which would not hurt his draft stock or any really perception of him because he had the balls to take that shot and he wanted that shot, but you can't always hit him. He'll never be, the best freshman to win a championship like Carmelo Anthony, my main man, but no slight to Cooper Flagg. I actually hope that he goes to one of the lowlier teams here in the NBA, a Utah or a Washington. I think he can really be a franchise changer and bring some much needed joy to those fan bases, especially the Washington fan base that's been just almost Knicks-ish in their amount of losing. They haven't had a substantial player since, Cooper Flagg, I think, is a better prospect than Arenas. Maybe going all the way back to the days of Earl the Pearl Monroe in the 70s. So Cooper Flagg, a dog, but I've been rooting for Houston from Magid, them and Texas Tech. I root for my local Texas teams, and I really like
Of course.
Kelvin Sampson. Kelvin Sampson's a great coach. Shout out Quentin Grimes. He's produced so much NBA talent, and I love how those guys play for him. He seems to be a real leader among men. So a ooh pit for Duke, but a bruh pit for Duke and a ooh pit for Houston.
Oh. Bruh. Got you. Yeah. Sorry, Dookies. Oh man, I'm giving my ooh pick to the man of the game, the player of the game to me, OG Anunoby. I'm just giving my ooh pick to OG Anunoby for the type of play he's had. He had an ISO play was nasty. He was on the left side of the floor. He did like a crossover. It just looks like he just robbing Jalen Brunson of all his offensive moves. Like he faked right, crossed over left, went to the hole and dunked it, and the momentum in which he dunked it had his legs all up in the air, hanging on the rim. It looked nasty. It was
nasty.
It was nasty. It was nasty. I was like, damn, OG over here making highlight reels. Now, are we at the point where I'm expecting a disgusting OG Anunoby dunk at least once again? Because he had 2 nasty dunks today. So I hit the move button again.
That's a great place to be if so.
Yeah, for sure. And who else I got? I saw somebody mention Mikal Bridges block. I'm gonna give another pick from Mikal Bridges block at the end of the game. That even though the refs popped it up, by calling it out of bounds on the Knicks, but it's just crazy how Mikal just has this knack for big defensive plays with under like 2 minutes. If Jalen Brunson is Captain Clutch on offense, I feel like Mikal Bridges is Captain Clutch on defense. Because it seems like he has like his biggest defensive moments when the game is on the line, whether it was being sealed on the post by Vucevic and getting a block there against the Bulls, multiple blocks from behind this season, in multiple fourth quarter moments, and again today, although the refs kind of just spoiled that moment. So yeah.
I got one more ooh and bro, double ooh and bro in the same game. Lakers OKC tonight was Bot's office, not because it was close, but it's revealed a lot to me. The Lakers look to be very dangerous coming into form into the playoffs, particularly really liking the pick and roll action between Luka Doncic, who just needs a bid with any level of hands. If that bid can catch a lob, they're going to have an unbelievable pick and roll opportunity in any game. And him and Jackson Hayes are developing really good chemistry, and he was hunting the hell out of Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein got dog walked again today, but you know I love saying that, by Luka Doncic in the mid-range, getting demolished in drop coverage. That they tried every scheme. They tried iHeart to 5, Chet to 5. They tried Chet and iHeart together. They couldn't stop Luka Doncic. The 3-point, Lakers looked like a juggernaut. They were up by 30 most of the game on OKC, and it made me think to myself, man, like, OKC is one of those teams that trades 2 points for 3. They're not a really strong 3-point team. They're not a high volume 3-point team. If a couple of guys are off, they are beatable. I don't think they have a juggernaut in the playoffs. Regular season, one of the greatest of all time, offensive for sure. In the playoffs, I think they're beatable. The Mavs showed that last year, and then also I saw that Donovan Mitchell hurt his ankle in today's game. Didn't watch it myself, but I read about it. I wish him well, but these things can break. Things break. A certain part of winning a championship, about 30%, in my opinion, is luck. And I just hope that things line up well for the Knicks. We're getting healthy together at the right time. Guys getting hot at the right time. Thibodeau is making adjustments at the right time. You never know, man. Things could break our way, and then after being in New York, hugging y'all in real time. Can't
wait. So, all right. Let me get this. So, I think the ooh was for Luka cooking. And I think the bruh was for Hartenstein getting cooked.
Yes.
Bruh. Okay. I got you.
Correcto.
Got you. All right. Yeah. I'm still not sleeping on OKC, but you are right. Shooting could be an issue. But we'll see. We'll see how that comes to fruition. The West in general is just a crapshoot. It's
crazy talented.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if the seeding in the West matters.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the second best team has the second best. Like, nah, like anybody can get it out the West. I would not be surprised who came out the West in the finals. Yo, I really wouldn't be surprised. It could be anybody.
Quiet as it's kept, the Rockets could lose in the first round as a 2 seed. The Warriors could win the West as the 4 seed. That Jimmy Butler trade is paying dividends for them. The Timberwolves are coming on. The Clippers are coming on. The Nuggets are coming on. The Grizzlies are coming on. Yeah. Like, really, only the 9 and 10 seeds, I think, have no chance. Kings and Mavs. Those 2 teams are just, they're fodder. But 1 through 8, anybody. Thunder are heads above of everybody. After that, it's equal. Damn, it's equal. That's great basketball.
Yeah.
How can you say the product's bad? How can you say this is a bad era of hoops when it's that competitive and there's that much equity? I think that's an illogical argument. I love the level of talent that basketball has right now. And now even the play-in games in the East are going to be exciting. Those are going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it's more I think I feel like the NBA and ESPN they just haven't highlighted the right things. That's really what it
Bro,
comes
for
down
real.
to. It's not even really about the product. Really, it's like yeah, you have to diversify where you put the spotlight, and then people will start to realize that the product is not as bad as what is being said. But
Man, that's a great point, dude. Because the Houston Rockets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, those teams deserve way more coverage than they're getting. The Detroit Pistons, that's who the ESPN should be talking about, not storylines with the Celtics or the Lakers or nits for clits. That shit's old news, man. That depression media doesn't sell anymore. You gotta tell out what's actually happening in the league. And the average fan doesn't know how good Houston is this season or
yeah,
Detroit because the media is not telling them. Granted, they're not watching games either, but some people work 70 hours a week. They don't have time to watch the Houston Rockets on a Tuesday night. So it's ESPN's job to disseminate what's happening and report on reality, and they're not.
yeah, that's why. I mean, that's I said this before, and I said it again. This is why channels like these are beneficial.
Talk to them.
That's why channels like these are beneficial, especially if they concentrate on a certain team and you want to get the details of a certain team because they get into the nitty gritty of certain of basketball and not just talking points and theater, which is cool. It's cool to have the talking points in theater. It's just you gotta diversify the ratio. Diversify the ratio. That's all.
Yep.
Good show, guys. If you're enjoying the show, hit that like, subscribe. We have that game talking Knicks basketball. TikTok land, I see you. Shout out to Michael Waldick 639. Michael Waldick. If you're enjoying the show, you can follow us, and we'll be here for the Knicks Celtics game. And I'm not sure who else just joined the show on TikTok land, but if you want to join us for the next show, because we're wrapping up, we'll be here for the Knicks Celtics game. All right. YouTube land. Shout out to you guys been rocking with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. All right. Lee, let them know where they can find you, man.
On Twitter @_Lee Thibodeau, LEEESCOBEDO. Got a big piece coming for the Guardian this week on the NBA's biggest villain. I'll leave it open ended for y'all to figure out who I think that is and who I'm writing about. But I'll drop that next week. Book recommendation tonight. Another great one. Ocean Vuong's first book of poetry, Night Sky with Exit Wounds, mini poems about his grandmother and mom. He was born in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. He's a poet and has a new book coming out this year. His first novel, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, is being turned into a film distributed through A24, my favorite film distribution company, makes all the great indies out there, especially horror. But this book is all about being biracial, which is something I can relate to as a half hillbilly, half Mexican American. I've always kind of struggled with my identity. I look at a white dude, look kind of goofy. What am I? And I've always kind of asked myself that question. I never really fit in with anyone. I tended to gravitate toward people with certain kinds of personality more so than a physical identifier. So this book, he writes very keenly on how he learned who he was through his relationships with his mother and his grandmother. Again, obviously, I'm doing research for my own book of poetry, writing about my mom. So this has been great inspiration for me. Shout out Ocean Vuong, Night Sky with Exit Wounds. You find on eBay for $5.
All right. All right. Shout out to you. So I have a theory. Who is the villain? I got a theory. I don't want to say this on the program. I don't want to, but I have a theory. I feel like we've been connected with the telekinesis. Feel like I know you. Feel like I know. If I am connecting to the Knicks side of your brain, then I feel like if it's Knicks related in there, then I feel like I know. I don't know.
It is, I'll give you a hint, it is not Knicks related.
Okay.
No connection to the Knicks on who the biggest villain of the NBA is.
Okay, so it's not Draymond. Okay.
I mean, Draymond would be a great pick. I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking higher.
Oh, higher. Things that make you go, executive? Okay. I'll leave that.
Think about who could be a supervillain in the NBA. Who's behind all the worst things in America?
Things in America. I think about that. In America,
Think
that's
about
wow. That's deep. That's bigger than basketball.
you'll probably wake up at 3 a.m. and text me. Oh, I know who it is.
Biggest villain in America in the NBA?
Yep.
Hmm.
Jay, think specifically about a lot of the things that you hate in America and who is behind a lot of that. Think about that. And then I'll wait for that text in the middle of the night.
All right, I'm gonna think on that. I'm not gonna waste your time
Think
with
on
my
it.
think face. All right. Follow me on follow us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Nick of Time Show on Facebook as well. And we're also on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. So rock with us, man. Rock with us on those social media places and podcasts and things of that nature. All right, yo. I see that guess, Brandon.
Not a bad guess. It's not a bad one.
Yeah, but
Not
I feel
correct.
like he's not somebody I would personally hate based on what I've seen.
Correct. Correct.
So
Correct.
I don't think that would be him because of his views.
When you figure out who it is, if I say, Jay, do you hate this person? You're going to say, absolutely. Yes, I do.
Okay. I trust your judgment that you know who I would hate.
Yes. We tend to hate a lot of the same people and things.
All right, yo. All right, that is the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah. So join us for the next game, which would be
Hell yeah. Tuesday. Boston Celtics
versus the Boston Celtics. Let's get it. All right. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. As always,
shout out the worldwide west. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out this mug. Peace.
York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.